but I can see both of these girls right here. You both have killer instinct.
Hey guys, welcome to Raising an Archer, and we have a couple special guests with us today. Also, I have Randall sitting in with me, and so Randall is one of our archers here at Texas Archery, and he's always game to jump on to do a podcast or anything video or anything like that. We also have Jewel and Landry from Louisiana. Hey girls.
Hi.
And so we wanted to have them on here. They're in town. We thought, hey, we're raising an archer. We have an opportunity. Let's go ahead and get these girls on here. So let's start with Landry. Okay? So we'll start with Landry. Landry, tell us how long you've been shooting, what kind of bow do you shoot, things like that.
I've been shooting for about 4 years, and I have a bear bow. Yeah.
Bear bow. Yeah. So she shoots bear bow. So have you been shooting it for all 4 years?
I started with a Genesis the first year.
Yeah, so I know that you guys are really big into NASP.
Yeah.
And so you guys have been shooting, both of you have been shooting NASP for a long time?
Yeah.
Is that how you guys started, was through the NASP program?
Yes, sir.
So the question I have is I've heard this question a lot. How do you transition from NASP into Target Archery? And that has been, here in Texas, there's been a lot of discussion around it because they're not pulling in those NASP archers into Target Archery. So what was it? Was it your parents that had you guys do it, or was it kind of the club that you were at? I mean, how did that all come
It
about?
was a club we were at. We were getting lessons with the Genesis, and then we got wrapped into Joad, and we decided to get better bows.
Got wrapped into. Yeah, hard to compete with those Genesis bows when you're showing up at other events. Yeah. There are some organizations, Randall, that if it has wheels, it's a compound bow. So we were at an event where, like you shoot an open class bow, right, stabilizers and all this stuff. This guy comes up and he has a Genesis bow. Oh. No sights, no nothing. He signed up for bear bow, and they were like, I'm sorry, that's not a bear bow. That is a compound bow. So he had to compete against an open class, all the open class stuff with a Genesis bow. He didn't care. He was, I mean, if you show up with a Genesis bow to shoot, you probably
don't care.
You're there just for fun.
Either you don't care or you don't know.
Yeah.
Or both.
So Landry, what is it that makes archery fun?
All the big tournaments, like outdoor nationals.
You like our outdoor nationals. What about Vegas? Have you been to Vegas?
No.
You haven't been to Vegas? Not yet.
I'm too young.
Oh, that's right, bear bow. I keep forgetting that bear bow, you have to shoot with the adults if you go shoot bear bow right now. There's no youth bear bow division. All right, your turn, Jewel. So how long have you been shooting?
4 years, and with a compound.
So you guys started about the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a little late in the game when you.
No. I'm not late. She had to start. She cannot join the school team until she was this year.
Yeah.
So she never really shot the Genesis bow competitively till this year.
Okay. Well, I was kind of joking around because you're only 15 years old, and so
14.
she started. She's 14. I'm sorry, she turns 15 this year.
Yeah.
Let me get that right. Yeah. So she's only been shooting since she's about 10, and that's actually a pretty good age to get into it. Randall, you're new. Randall's new to archery as well.
I am.
So you've been shooting.
My second year now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Randall is one of those guys that came in, just bought himself a mission bow to start with.
Yeah, like a starter bow, and just fell in love with it, kind of like you guys. I wish we had a camera in here because you know Tom Brady, right? The football player.
Yeah.
You know who Tom Brady is? Okay. When you see that guy, you don't see him as very intimidating. But I can see both of these girls right here. You both have killer instincts. You have to see it.
Today's the first time that I've heard Joel start talking smack.
That's that.
Yeah.
See, that's where it all starts.
Yeah.
Well, they probably talk smack. Who's the better
Me.
out of you? You.
Yeah.
Well, she shoots compound, she shoots bear bow, so it's hard to do it.
Well, that's true.
So there are even at this age. I think, Randall, you may relate a little bit to this, but as you get into archery, as you get better, there are struggles that come along with it. So your skills and everything go way up, and then what happens?
They go straight down.
They go straight down.
That's true. That is true.
And it doesn't matter what age you're at, that's going to happen. I know that Landry, you struggled a little bit with bear bow, even at 9 years old.
Yep.
Yeah, and so part of that struggle is is figuring out how to get through it. And it's I think that's where coaches come into play. Us as parents research, trying to figure out, what's the best thing for them to do, because if you don't get it solved quickly, they lose interest. So for
Right.
you, I know you've struggled a little bit with it as well.
I think early on when you're just doing anything new, you have kind of an internal excuse.
It's a honeymoon stage,
Hey,
right?
I'm just new at this. You can't expect me to be that good. Although internally you want to be that good. So like my daughter, anything she ever does, she's like, tries it one time and she wants to give up because she wasn't an expert at it. I'm like, that's not the way this game works.
I wish it was like that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it when you win. Now, both of you said you've won at a higher level, at least in your age group. When you win, if it just comes natural to you, which in this sport there is an element that can be.
And I think, just a side note, I think it comes natural for those two.
Yeah, I bet I could see that. But I think it's a struggle that you really find the enjoyment, that you go and you struggle and you maybe have a bad year and you come back the following year and you win it all. That feels way better than it's just like I'm always good.
Yeah.
And you can really see that. I've seen a lot of kids that start off really strong and just dominate, and then when they have to be pushed, you really see what type of competitor they are. You'll see
Right.
a lot of them just kind of drift away, because it got hard. They had to put time in. And then you'll see the ones that really put the time in, and then they just really shine.
Right, I agree. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta say something else than yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Joel, I know you put a lot of time in. So tell us, she's 14 years old. She's been shooting for about 4 years. What does your practice look like today?
Well, I hate practicing in the heat. So when I come up here, I like when I can shoot over in the 50-yard range, and I can shoot indoor, and I get to shoot like all day.
Is that why you guys, it's hard for you guys to leave? Like, they were here all day
Oh, I
yesterday, all day today.
Yeah, amen. Some mosquitoes are horrible.
Yeah.
Are they bad down there?
Oh, they're very bad, especially on the lake.
Yeah, I bet they're bad everywhere.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So are you getting any practice in? I know at 9 years old, I don't really push kids at that age to practice a lot because I want it to stay fun. But what does your practice look like?
Usually I practice a lot with my dad, so sometimes when I get home from school, well, pretty much every day when I get home from school, and when I come up here, I like shooting also in the 50-yard range, shooting 30.
So the one thing I think is key right there is that she likes to come home and shoot with her dad.
Yeah, oh, that's nice. Oh,
Yeah.
every dad likes to hear that. So who got you into archery?
Well, so we switched schools, and we were just looking for things to do, and they had an archery team. And my parents were like, why don't we sign up for this? It'll be something fun to do, and maybe you can make friends. So that was the first thing.
And you just copied her, didn't you?
Yeah.
You did?
She's a
I did.
copycat.
So the
Can't
one
do
thing,
anything original.
so the president of NASP is Tommy Floyd. So Tommy Floyd is the president he's the one that runs the NASP program. And so I was talking to him a few months ago, and the one thing that he had said, which I thought was really cool, is that their goal is to build a community for kids in archery. And it's not just, he says that they have statistics that show that kids' grades go up because they're a part of something. But not every kid can make the basketball team of 12
Right.
athletes. They don't make the football team. They don't make, band. It's not a good fit for everybody, but archery can be a fit for everybody. And he says that is why NASP grows so much.
Okay.
So that's why when I first got into archery, there was a guy that was trying to figure out here in Texas, how do you bridge the gap between NASP and archery? I don't know what the answer is.
All right.
Because how NASP works, I don't know, you're probably not familiar with it, but these schools can they have bows, right?
Yes.
So they have the bows, they have the equipment, so kids don't have to put any money in for it.
They tell you to, but some don't.
Yeah, yeah. So you ended up getting your own bows and everything, right?
Yeah.
It's important to have your own equipment.
Yeah, that way you can practice at home.
Yep. And also get used to that equipment, because if you're just borrowing equipment, what happens? You get something different. It could change. if that happens. I think that they try to dedicate some of those bows to the
Yeah, they have
archers.
like numbers on them, and you know your number. But you shoot different arrows every time, and sometimes the arrows have different They're weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're aluminum arrows.
Yeah.
So if they hit something, they bend.
Any brothers?
No.
No.
It's just us.
Oh,
It's just the two of them.
just the two of them. Your dad must have patience.
Yeah.
I have a daughter, just one though. And she
That's enough.
Yeah, that is enough for me.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy beating the guys?
Oh, yes.
I know I would too if I were you. I don't enjoy getting beat by anybody, but
I now know
It's
you don't.
worse by a
He spits-
9-year-old.
He was like, you know what? My goal is to be last place in Vegas, and then next year win it.
Sandbag.
I could do this.
Yeah.
The last place is real easy to do.
The winning it is a
It's the
little more of a
winning's the hard
challenge.
part.
A little more of a challenge.
Yeah.
But thank you, girls, for joining us. I know that there's some big tournaments coming up that everybody's getting ready for, which we're all excited about. A bunch of national tournaments are coming up, and that's where we'll see a lot of our kids participate in. And I know that we're about 2 months out from one of the youth national championships, which is out in New Mexico. Appreciate you girls being on the call with us, or on the call. On the call. Yeah, you're welcome. On the podcast, I guess they'd call, but
We could call you.
yeah, we could call you. But thank you for joining us, and we will catch you guys at the next Target.